What's going on, everyone? I'm the Intel, and today we're going to be looking at 5 games you never ever got to play. These are games that were cancelled before they ever got to release, or they were in beta and then got cancelled. I've tried to pick some different titles you may have never heard of, so let's jump right on in with our very first title. Our first title is Human Element. Human Element was announced in 2012 by Robert Bowling, a core director at Infinity Ward, who you might know from the original Modern Warfare trilogy. Human Element was created by TheIntelYT. I don't know exactly how you say it, but that's what I'm going to go with. It was a completely new studio founded by Robert Bowling, mostly comprised of new developers and some ex-Call of Duty staff. Human Element didn't reveal much when it was revealed in 2012, other than that it was a zombie survival shooter title that would be fully free to play and published by Nexon. TheIntelYT then went on to reveal it was going to release an episodic prequel series exclusively for Ouya. If you don't know what the Ouya is, it was basically a console that was funded on Kickstarter. It flopped unbelievably hard, and well, shortly after the Ouya's launch, the prequel series was cancelled and all the resources were dedicated to the main game. In 2014, a teaser trailer for the game finally premiered, showing what it was all about. Well, that trailer was nothing what fans were expecting. Earlier pictures and descriptions of the game painted a darker, more serious tone, and that trailer had none of that. It was around this time as well, the game would shift from being a free-to-play title, and it would now be a fully priced game. But because of this shift in focus, the publishing deal with Nexon was cancelled, meaning the game had no publisher. TheIntelYT had to be developer and publisher. More details emerged on the game around this time, such as its very weird difficulty. In easy mode, you'd be playing as you, just the player. In medium difficulty, you'd be the player and an adult companion. And in hard mode, I am not joking by the way, you would be the player and a child. I have no clue what the point in this was, but I guess it was different and set the game apart from other zombie games, but yeah. But in January of 2015, it was announced that Human Element would no longer release, as the developer, TheIntelYT, was shutting down, as quite literally nobody wanted to publish the game. And since nobody wanted to publish the game, there wasn't enough money for TheIntelYT to survive, and the company shut down, and the world would never ever see Human Element ever again. Our fourth title is Project Knoxville. Project Knoxville was created by Press Play, a company that Microsoft acquired in 2012. Press Play would begin work on Project Knoxville in about 2014-2015. Not that much is known about Project Knoxville, but as you can see, we do have some gameplay of the title. Knoxville was meant to be, in the simplest terms, and using modern terms, was meant to be kind of Among Us x Hunger Games. Technically, this was going to be Among Us before Among Us. You'd be dropped into this arena with other players, and like the Hunger Games, you could work with them or kill them. It was fully up to you, the player. Each match would have the players fight against hostile enemies, and if you could beat them all, you win, and you can leave the arena. The only real reason to kill someone was for their gear. Other than that, there was really no point. But there was a second way to win, which was collecting enough coins, and you'd be able to buy your way out of the arena. So that could be an incentive to kill another player. You could kill them and steal their coins. If you escape the arena, it seems that you'd be able to level up your character, so knowing if your character died, you'd lose them and all their upgrades. We're not too sure on that, because again, there's very little details about this game. If you did die, you didn't just leave and queue up for the next match. You entered the afterlife mode, in which you can spawn objects such as enemies or medkits to help out or hurt the remaining players. It's up to you. This was a really cool idea that I think would have been really fun. Ultimately though, in 2016, when Microsoft's Xbox One was really struggling, what did Xbox do? They decided to cancel this game and shut down Press Play, cancelling Project Knoxville. I think this game sounded okay. It's not the best game ever, but I think it's something that could have been fun for a while, especially when Microsoft needed some new IPs in 2016, because, the Xbox One wasn't the best console in the world. Our third title is Project Spark. Project Spark, in the simplest terms, was going to be Roblox for Xbox. It technically released, and the game was in an open beta for a year or two, before being cancelled once again by Microsoft in 2016, making it our second title Microsoft cancelled in 2016. Project Spark allowed players across PC and Xbox One to come together and build levels and entire games and then share them with the world in a fully free-to-play title. But the game wasn't the most popular game ever, and it never got finished. In all honesty, we don't exactly know why Microsoft cancelled Project Spark. We can only guess and theorize, as it's never been officially revealed why it got cancelled. I actually played Project Spark's beta back in 2014 when it released, and I quite liked playing all the cool games people were making. There was tons of cool ideas I can still remember. I remember people making full-on RPGs, shooter games, horror titles, and much more, and I think the game would have been something really special if Microsoft committed enough resources and the time to make a really good game. You can actually still play it if you own a physical disc. Also, does anyone else find it kind of weird that they made discs of a game that was still in beta? Or if you still have the game downloaded, you can still make new games, but you can't share it with anyone. You can just kind of play offline and make your own games that you really can't share with anyone, unless you send them your Xbox. This game could have been something really cool, but unfortunately, we will never ever know. The second title on our list is The Avengers. The Avengers by THQ Australia and Blue Tongue Entertainment, which was meant to be a first-person brawler video game set to release in 2012 around the release of the first MCU Avengers movie. But this game had quite literally nothing to do with the MCU movie. In this game, you'd be able to play solo or in 4-player co-op, and being able to play as an Avenger and take on the Skrull army. As you can see, we do have some leaked gameplay and leaked details about the game, as almost nothing about this game was officially revealed. Firstly, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and Captain America were likely to be your first batch of characters you'd be able to play with Hawkeye and Black Widow being unlockable later in the game, likely for some endgame points you'd get for completing missions. The Fantastic Four and Ant-Man were also considered to be bonus characters you can unlock and play as. But why was it cancelled? It seems to be a decent game from what we know. Well, during mid-2011, the development studios at THQ Australia and Blue Tongue Entertainment were struggling to keep up with development of the game, and it was rapidly falling behind schedule. Why, you might ask? This was mainly because of THQ, the publisher of the game and the parent company of both developers. They were, having some financial difficulties. In short, they released a drawing tablet for Wii, Xbox 360, and PS3, which was an unbelievably massive flop. And they also released Homefront, a new shooter title, which also didn't sell very well, resulting in THQ basically going bankrupt. And that's basically why the game was cancelled, not because it was bad and someone saw it and was like, this game sucks, cancel it. It was mostly just because THQ went bankrupt. This sucks, as to me, this game seemed like it might have actually been quite a fun time, but I guess we'll never ever know. And finally, our game at number 1 is Rainbow Six Patriots. This was meant to be the next Rainbow Six title after Rainbow Six Vegas 2, but this title was cancelled in favour of the multiplayer-only phenomenon Rainbow Six Siege. Patriots would follow Team Rainbow, being called to New York to help tackle a terrorist group calling itself True Patriots, which was a group acting as judge, jury, and executioner and taking on what they saw as a corrupt Wall Street. But this wasn't the only issue players would have to face. The new head of Team Rainbow, James Wolfe, had a no-mercy mentality when fighting the True Patriots. He believed that ethics were irrelevant, meaning anything necessary to take down the True Patriots. Gameplay, well, we don't know much about that, but we can guess that it'd be pretty similar to Rainbow Six Vegas 2's gameplay, but probably a little more modern for 2013 and 2014 standards. Patriots sounded interesting. A conflict inside Team Rainbow while dealing with the True Patriots would have been a fun and unique story that I think would have been very enjoyable. In 2012, many heads of the project were removed from working on the title, who would then also go on to leave the company. After the removal of the heads of the project for whatever reason, as we still don't really know why, in 2013 then, Ubisoft would confirm the game would continue to be developed, even after, just before that, all the pre-orders just got cancelled. And then, finally, in 2014, Ubisoft announced Patriots was cancelled and they were hard at work on a new title for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC, which would inevitably turn out to be Rainbow Six Siege. We don't know much about why Patriots was cancelled, what went wrong, or anything. I hope one day we'll get to find out more. What went wrong with Patriots? It seemed like it was going to be an interesting game, taking some risks story-wise, having an internal conflict while fighting this new group. I hope we get to find out one day. But for now, we don't know very much about Rainbow Six Patriots and why it got cancelled. And that's my list of 5 cancelled video games we never ever got to play. I found this really fun to make, and I personally found out about a couple titles in here I kinda wish we got to play. But anyway, thanks for watching, and have a lovely day.